Hey there, folks. Wanted to jump into our brand new segment here on the News Underground. It's the Activist Showcase. Activist Showcase. Brought to you, of course, by Garbage Fuel. Garbage Fuel is, of course, the #1 drink mix company in the world. Make sure you drink Garbage Fuel today. Garbage Fuel sponsors the Activist of the Week. Activist of the Week is the one and only Chris Smalls. Chris Smalls, everybody. Chris Small, technical difficulty. We'll ignore those. Ignore the technical difficulties. But no, Chris Smalls. If you don't know who Chris Smalls is, he is the Amazon labor union leader. He was an employee at Amazon, rose up, started unionizing, and has really captured people's attention and has been extremely effective in creating unions at Amazon warehouses across the nation. He now does it full time. Here's an interesting interview. Chris Smalls and Derek Palmer create the first Amazon labor union. This was created for Black History Month. Please enjoy.
The country's second largest private employer with 1.1 million workers in the U.S.
Garbage Fuel is keto friendly. It just depends on the mixture you get. You see, Garbage Fuel comes from locally sourced garbage juice. So if you live near like one of those grocery stores that sells all that shit, it's very likely that you will have keto friendly ingredients in your Garbage Fuel. Make sure you don't drink Garbage Fuel. Please do not drink it. I cannot handle another lawsuit. Okay, guys? All right. Don't do it.
West finally unionized in 2022. The movement, led by two friends, Chris Smalls and Derek Palmer, changed the course of history, not only for workers at their company, but will inspire others to follow their example
in the
pursuit of more equitable working conditions.
They do. Meaningless. The messiness makes it more entertaining. Okay, good. At least someone's
Chris Smalls
laughing.
And Derek Palmer had no idea they'd make history working together at a Staten Island warehouse. Chris never imagined himself organizing. His mother is an 1199 SEIU member, but that was the extent of unionization that he knew of. He envisioned himself in music, going to college in Florida with a successful rap career. However, life began lifing in his early 20s when he became a father of twins, leading him back into the traditional workforce to provide for his family. Growing up in Piscataway, New Jersey, where several local high school alums
What the Piscataway? That's not real.
Made their way into the NFL. Derek gave football a run, but realized it wasn't for him.
Thanks,
Derek
Kev
found out
Goblin.
about working at Amazon through his mother. He started at Amazon in 2016, counting product inventory. Soon after, became a company ambassador, training new employees in picking and counting. Chris was Derek's team supervisor, amongst the team of all black men leading as management, who coincidentally ranked #1 when it came to production. The two men spent 11 months organizing employees within their workplace. And within the first days of the pandemic, a small panic led to an employee walkout over security and health concerns. This move caught the attention of the corporate office, and in response, they put in Incident Commander, a protest response playbook, and labor exercise playbook to chase away enterprise disruptions. Amazon fired Chris in March 2020, saying he had violated quarantine guidelines by returning to work after being instructed to quarantine. However, that didn't stop the two labor warriors from continuing to fight for better pay, working conditions, and benefits for the workers. Following his dismissal, Chris created the Amazon Labor Union, an independent union without the backing of any large national union. Although Chris's and Derek's first attempt to get employee signatures for their petition to vote for unionization failed, they finally gained the 30% threshold.
You see, they failed. Why did they try? Right? Oh, well, see, guys, it didn't all work out. See, I kind of stuck my neck out for nothing, huh? Right?
Needed to hold a vote. Chris and Derek raised $120,000 through GoFundMe and used it to support and mobilize the union. Despite all the challenges Derek and Chris faced.
That's the spirit of the activist. That's the spirit of the activist. It didn't work out. I guess I better get back to work, huh?
Chris and Derek raised $120,000 through GoFundMe and used it to support and mobilize the union. Despite all the challenges Derek and Chris faced to change things for workers within Amazon, on April 1st, 2022 in Brooklyn, 8,000 eligible Amazon employees were allowed to vote, resulting in 2,650.
You talking about Amazon, Dravenslow?
2,144 for the union to 2,131 against, resulting in the first Amazon union in the United States. Chris and Derek appealed to Gen Z workers. "We're making unionizing cool," Smalls told Money Magazine. "That's what I think the labor movement has always been missing. It's not cool." On the day the votes were tallied, Chris,
cool.
now president of the ALU, walked out of the National Labor Relations Board office on Staten Island to cheering Amazon employees and popped a bottle of champagne to celebrate the historic win on the gram. When Chris was invited to the White House a month later, he met the president wearing Jordan 11s. Chris and Derek, ALU.
Was this the right move? Right? Because look, here's Joe Biden, very quick to, I love unions. I love unions. The fuck you do. The fuck you do, Joe Biden. I love unions. I love unions. Was that the right move to allow? I don't know if it was. I think a very heated and fair argument could be made for both sides, right? Of like, look, it elevates me. It elevates the movement, right? It legitimizes the union movement, right? But it's also, okay, now we're a pawn, right? Now this, every time Joe Biden wants to say he's pro-union, he's gonna have that video playing of me shaking hands with Chris Smalls, right? Even though Joe Biden in the smoky back rooms is like, fuck Chris Smalls and fuck his movement, and like, let's give Amazon more abilities to crush unions, right? With that said, the neoliberals are more pro-union than your average authoritarian Republican. But let's not get it twisted. Joe Biden is not a friend of the fucking unions. And Joe Biden's not a friend of the worker. Joe Biden's not a friend of the struggle. Joe Biden's a friend of Wall Street. Let's not get it fucking twisted. So I think a fair argument could be made for both sides, right? Should he have visited Joe Biden? I think it's a bad move. Before this, he was directly against the rail union. Yeah. I think that meeting happened like while that scandal was happening, right? So, but it does. Dravenslow, I think you would agree. It does in a way, even though it's like Joe Biden, the neoliberals, it's still the president, right? And it does in a way legitimize, what Chris Smalls is trying to achieve. And it does, and I think it's fair. I think a fair criticism for Chris Smalls as well would be that, he likes the celebrity. I think he likes being a celebrity, which I don't have a problem with. I think we need charismatic characters as leaders, right? And ego and vanity go hand in hand with those kind of characters. Look at Kennedy, right? You don't get a lot of Bernie Sanders that are like, look, I'm here. I got some bowel issues. What the hell are you gonna do about it? I'm a 95-year-old man. Okay, I'm here to give your grandma health care because I want her to feel better because she's kind of good looking. What am I doing? But you know what I mean.
ALU's vice president are still working to help additional Amazon warehouses unionize after years of declining unionization. 2022 brought wider approval of unions, with 71% of Americans agreeing with labor unions, the highest rating since 1965, according to a Gallup survey. Smalls and Palmer aren't only known for creating unionization within one of the world's biggest.
See how hard is that, folks? You show up, you look at this. Took them 5 seconds to throw together a sign, march for 5-6 hours. That's step 3. That's putting in the work, right? Oh, that doesn't sound as fun as it could be. Yeah, well, it's not as fun as vegging out on the couch and watching Netflix. But this is the work you need to put in for your citizenship. This is the work you need to put in to continue to enjoy the freedoms that you are enjoying, and to also give your children and your family and your loved ones those same freedoms in the future. This is the work you have to put in. This is step 3. The normie Dem voters, and assuming that's what I'm saying, Dravenslaw. The normies are like, oh, yay, we've co-opted another one. Yay, he's co-opted, right? They were like, MSNBC, yay, we got him, right? So I don't know. It feels like a double-edged sword.
Corporations in the U.S. in recent decades. They also demonstrated the power of Gen Z. Their work ending up on Times Magazine's 2022 Most Influential People list. Chris and Derek created historic opportunities for workers to organize and demand improved working conditions for themselves and for generations of workers to come. We have a lot of work to do,
Hell yeah.
Palmer says. I'm just proud to be in this position to motivate workers, to unionize, and make sure the labor movement is in a good spot.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, thank you, BET. BET over here knows how to make news pretty interesting and entertaining. I got some criticism for Chris Small, whatever. It's all nitpicks, right? The important thing is that he's showing up. He's leading these marches. He's not allowing the celebrity to cocoon him, right? To keep him away from the people, right? It's probably a bigger hassle, right? Than for a lot of labor leaders like him, because he is a celebrity. You know, he went to like the freaking fancy fashion shows and all that shit, right? But we need more of them. We need more Chris Smalls. Okay. But you know, if there was one piece of advice I would give Chris Small is that I would say, you can't let the fame get to your head. They want the fame to get to your head. They want you to become full of yourself and to insult the movement. That's what they want. If you keep your head up, you keep your powder dry, you stick to your principles, you stick to what's right, you stick to this movement, to this effort, to this struggle, and you stay true to it and you stay true to yourself, they won't be able to break you down. Right? Because that's what they want. They're looking for chinks in the armor. They think they found one with your vanity, and they're going to try to destroy you. They will try to destroy you. You know why, Chris Smalls? Because you're effective. So that would be my advice to you, Chris Smalls, would be keep your powder dry. Don't give them those things that they're looking for. Right? Stay humble. Stay humble. And just stay on the grind. Stay doing what you're doing best at, right? This union leading, organizing, state to state, every Amazon warehouse in the world unionized, right? I'm not resting until that goal is reached. Stick to that, and you'll have a lifetime career and a lifetime of respect. And you have a life well lived, right? So thank you so much, Chris Smalls, and as well as Derek Palmer here. Yeah, learn the lessons from BLM about corruption and about how easy that can, about how very quickly that can happen. Yeah, all right. That's definitely the BLM movement is definitely yeah, absolutely. Because I have a lot of admiration for BLM even today, but yeah, there's no denying that they're buying mansions, the corruption. There's scandals within the organization, the favoritism. It went completely off the rails, and it went completely off the rails because of money and fame, right? And they know that. The oligarchy knows that. They love it. They love it. And now BLM's a boogeyman, a terrorist boogeyman, right? But there's how much of that can you control, right? You can't control their media apparatuses creating a narrative, right? Like Antifa has no control over that, right? But anyway, thank you, Chris Smalls. Please keep up the good work. And I hope you are inspired by this activist to participate in activism yourself. Remember, it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, inform yourself. Step 2, join a progressive political organization or a union. And step 3, put in the work. Your citizenship demands your effort. It's just a fact. Get over it. Get over the fact that it's going to take some effort, that it's going to be a little awkward. Suck it up, Buttercup. It's either that or live in Ron DeSantis' world. Live in Ted Cruz's world. Let Donald Trump tell you what you need to do with your genitals. I ain't joking. I ain't playing. What do you think? I have stories right now about a doctor getting arrested for performing an abortion. That's the world that we're allowing these fascists to create for us unless we fight back. And taking ownership over our citizenship is how we fight back. Taking ownership over your democracy and citizenship. So thank you so much. All right, moving on.